Hello and welcome to episode 66 of the CFCTALK podcast. It's me, Alex. I'll be your host for tonight. I'm joined by my usual co-host, Amart, and one of the great minds behind CFCTALK social media pages, Nathan. Pleasure to have you on.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you on, and same for you, Amart. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. The listeners and the viewers didn't hear this, but I just butchered a hosting job, so Alex had to take over again.
Yeah, the truth is that I chickened out. I thought I was going to swerve my way through this podcast by chickening out of hosting, but then Amart decided to host, and then he basically coerced me back into doing it again. How tactical of him. But yes, I'll be honest, guys. So we won't talk too much about my viewing time of this game, but unfortunately, I watched the first half, and then Chelsea decided to turn up when I was making dinner for the rest of my house. So I didn't watch much of this game, and it's quite funny that it seems like, according to both you and a lot of Chelsea Twitter, I see that a lot of things went or reversed in the second half. We apparently. Especially in the second half, we basically turned it around, getting a 2-1 fantastic win with great performances in the second half from Reece, Gilmour, Ziyech, particularly after their poor showings in the first half. So how was it overall, guys? And I mean, we can maybe talk about the bit that I can at least relate to first.
I mean, first off, we were all right. We slacked off, took us well to get into the game. I mean, conceded a stupid goal, shouldn't have conceded at all. Penalty, which was a bit controversial, but second half we managed to get into it.
Yeah, and with that goal, it was a shame because, I mean, it was one of those Christensen mistakes. Sorry, Amart, we'll get back into your thoughts in a second, but it was one of those Christensen mistakes where we haven't really seen for a couple of months now, and I thought he'd kind of shaken off, but to be fair, he did get injured in the process and had to go off, and hopefully he'll be back. But Amart, do you think it was like we could blame it on the team, or do you think it was down to more individual mistake?
I don't know. I think the goal looked like it was coming for a while because for the most part of the first half, Man City were dominating. It looked like they were going to score at any point, but still we were solid at the back. I think Christensen was very good until that moment. I think in a way, either he mistimed the bounce or the bounce beats him. I don't really know because I think usually what defenders do is that they'll go in there with their head. They'll try and head that ball out. But I don't know why he went with his feet and he completely mistimed it. And unfortunately, Jesus beats him, and then the goal happened afterwards. I don't really want to blame him entirely. It's one of those things. I don't think it's back to his poor form. I think he's improving and you continue to improve. But it's unfortunate that he got injured because it now puts more pressure on Silva. We have to be using if the injury is serious, we have to be using Silva more. And I don't know whether Silva we can rely on him um for many consecutive games like that. So I'm just hoping Christensen comes back so that we'll have our back four fit again.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, I'd really like to see. I mean, yeah, Christensen to get back. I mean, when we've seen particularly him, Thiago Silva, and Rudiger, it's just curtains for the other team normally. But it's also nice to be able to have Asby to be able to get back there. And apparently Zuma, I mean, I don't know, I didn't see him in the second half, but what did you guys think of Zuma coming on for Christensen? And was he all right, or aside from the the penalty shouts in the second half?
I think he managed to handle the pace of Jesus and Sterling. I think, obviously, apart from the penalty, he managed to handle it well. I'm not sure whether that was a penalty. Obviously, because Zuma's always a bit clumsy, but I'm not sure whether it was a penalty in my opinion.
Yeah, I think his performance was good. I think his performance, if those penalty like the second one was given, it will be a blip on his performance. But I think overall he kind of did good. He stopped Sterling from taking a shot in the second half by a brilliant tackle. He made a brilliant tackle. That wasn't a penalty. I think they were calling for a penalty at that time. But the second one is a bit debatable because um, we've seen that given in the Premier League, and it was a contact, and I think it wasn't wasn't clear and obvious. That's why probably Anthony Taylor didn't really need the VAR to check that. And I think the VAR even checked it while play was going on. So I was wondering how it will work out, whether they will stop play and bring it back to take the penalty or not, because they allowed play to go on whilst the VAR was checking. So I think Anthony Taylor already made his mind up. I don't like, to be honest, I don't like praising Anthony Taylor, but I think he already made his mind up and he didn't want to change the decision that he made. So but I don't know. It's 50-50. That tackle could be given penalty on any day by any referee. And at the same time, too, some referees might just overlook it because it doesn't really look clear that he actually tackled him. Unlike the Gilmore one that looked like he impeded James Jesus. So that one was a little bit clearer. But with this one, it wasn't really clear. And I don't really want to be in the shoes of the referee to make that decision at that point.
Yeah, it's a difficult decision to get to make, particularly for the. I don't remember if there was. I didn't see a first or second. I just saw the one where maybe Zuma might have, like, kind of impacted Sterling's legs with. Yeah, I don't know. Just kind of when they were both running for the ball, and it looked like Zuma looked to catch Sterling on the legs, but I seemed pretty lucky to get away with that, to be honest. But at the same time, Sterling first half, from what I did see, I mean, it was an awful tackle. I think on, I can't even remember. I remember he did. He went studs up. I think it was
Yeah,
on Alonso, maybe.
I think
Well,
it
I
was
can't
on
remember.
what was it on Alonso? Yeah, I think so. I think it was on him. He didn't. I'll have to check, but I think he made it on one of our players. It was a nasty tackle. I don't think it was a good. I really hoped he would be sent off, but he didn't. He wasn't sent off, and he was the one who scored their goal for them.
I'm just looking now, and the tackle's on winner.
Werner, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he was lucky to be on the pitch for that, and yeah, shame that firstly he was the one to score for them, and then yeah, but didn't matter in the end. Yeah, I mean, thinking about other things in the first half, and to be fair, second as well. Speaking of Werner, many offsides, and many or a couple of offside goals, but like I want. On the one hand, yeah, you can say, oh, he needs to be timing his runs better, and we've said that of him in previous games as well. I think in the Real Madrid game, there was one where, yeah, he just needs to time the run better and not, yeah, I don't even know what I'm saying. but at the same time as well, I think City, they're such a high pressing team that they're going to, if we're going to have Timo trying to get in behind, then you're just going to have to take the hit that he's going to be offside a couple of times at least. So what can you do with it? You just kind of have to accept it. But I think he at least got the assist for the Ziyech goal.
No,
what is it? Or
Alonso goal.
The Alonso goal.
Yeah, he made an excellent pass across 2 or 3 defenders into Alonso.
What a man! I think that.
Sorry, the thing I don't want to make a comment about that goal. The thing about Werner's assist there was that I think I was watching with somebody and the person was saying that why is that Tammy hasn't been started nowadays, and I was like, Tuchel prefers Werner because of other things that he offers, certain things that Tammy doesn't have. Tammy is a good goal scorer, definitely, but sometimes we don't really need only just like we don't only need just as goal scorer. We need somebody who can also try and create goals. So immediately he made that, and I was like, you see, this is why he picks him all the time, because there are some games where he can do this without even scoring goals. He can do this, and his pace helps a lot. So he does this, and that's why he's getting picked. And I think today he was one of our better performers today. So yeah, that was a great. I don't know why. It seemed like both of them were so hungry to get the goal. Hudson and Alonso. I think it's because they've been sitting on the bench for some time. They both wanted the goal. So, but I think that pass was meant for Hudson. But it looked like Alonso was also coming in. I don't know what. I think the way he kicked the ball was the reason why it beat Ederson. And yeah,
It looked
so
like he
he got
scuffed it a little bit, like he
yeah
kicked it into the
yeah
floor.
yeah. I think it hit his shin or something like that before it went. Because I think Alonso would have Callum Hudson-Odoi would have placed it very well. We don't know whether it would the keeper would have saved or not, but I think the scuff shot is what helped us there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so I think we can also talk about what do you guys think about Ziyech's goal as well? I think Ziyech in the first half I saw on Twitter that people were talking about Ziyech's performance. Ziyech wasn't looking like he wanted to be there and stuff like that. And I honestly disagreed with that because with Ziyech is like Havertz in a way that both of them
Yeah.
they aren't really like how to say players who exert themselves on the pitch or the players who do the most on the pitch. They're like they do some of the littlest stuff because they are very very sure of their technique. They are very very sure of their skills. So when they get the ball, they know exactly what they want to do with the ball. And I think that was what Ziyech was doing. He was trying to find Werner and set him in pockets of the defense in the first half. Unfortunately, some of Werner's runs were offside, and some of them he couldn't really use it very well. And I think he was doing the same to Pulisic as well. But the second half, he just came to life, and that was a brilliant goal, placing it on the bottom right corner of the post, and that was fantastic. Like he kind of started it and then he finished it. It was a brilliant goal.
You
What
could
do you think,
see
Vincent?
throughout the first half and second half, he kept going for those shots where he'd cut inside from the right from it and then shoot with his left, like Iron Robin used to. And he keep going for it, and then the one time he decided to shoot with his right, I think it kind of caught Ederson off guard because he was waiting for that left-footed shot, and he just hit it with his right foot powerfully into the bottom right corner, but it's just very difficult to save.
Yeah. And I think in the first half, I was just hoping that he bangs one in. That was all. I was just hoping that he bangs one in. But I don't think we've seen um a goal like that from ZH yet. I think he scored one like that, but it was a low shot, and we've not seen any of his bangers that he's been scoring from Ajax. I think neither has Werner as well. Like nobody has really scored any bangers this season. Like I think apart from Mount against Liverpool, I don't really remember. I think James also scored earlier in the season. But under Tuchel, I don't really remember us scoring any bangers from outside the box. But this one was a beauty, and I was very very happy he scored.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a beauty. Yeah, for sure. Like to basically get the shot out with his or after taking his first touch, pretty much on the volley or half volley as well. It's a pretty beautiful thing to see. It was weird to see. I mean, in most of the game, it looked like Ziyech was playing off the left as well. Like in particular, I don't know. Maybe it was just a first half thing, but I definitely saw a lot more of Pulisic on the right than the left. And I just didn't understand it, to be honest. But because
Yeah, I
Pulisic I'd
think
associate more.
I think in the first half he was playing at the left because that was where he was operating a lot with Werner in the first half, and Pulisic was on the right. But I think in the second half, especially where the goal started from, where he started his build up from, it was on the right, and he scored. So I think he switched in the second half.
Yeah, it's nice to
Yeah,
see that both of our wide players can play both on the right and the left. So if, say, like Mendy's pocketed Ziyech and he can't do much, they can always just switch around and then see if it works different ways.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think that's why. I think that's one of the reasons why um, Reese had a very good game in the second half because it seemed like Ziyech wasn't there anymore, but Reese was the one that was moving forward. So now Mendy had to deal with Reese instead of Ziyech like he was doing in the first half. So Reese didn't really give him the time of day. He couldn't go past Reese, but Reese was going past him a lot. There was a brilliant skill that he did on the byline, which was very very beautiful. Like he did, like he was going to pass the ball and he kind of chipped it over like the side of Mendy and just run with it. And I don't know. I think him. I don't know who got the official man of the match, but I think him or um uh the Gilmore definitely deserve it.
man, Gilmore must have been so good in the second half. Nah, like Yeah, from what I saw, I mean, I didn't see anything special for it from in the first half, but I did. I definitely take your word for it that he rose to like upped his game in second because yeah, heard lots of good things about him, and that like no one's talking about him giving away the penalty. So
I think
more
no,
here for
I
it.
think see, I think the penalty. The reason why nobody's talking about it is that the penalty to me, like personally, I don't really see it as a penalty. Like I said in the beginning, because there was contact, it would definitely be given. But the thing was, if you look at it, it seems like Jesus wanted that penalty because he moved towards Gilmore. He could have taken the shot where he was, but I don't know why he moved towards Gilmore. And Gilmore was also going towards the ball, so it wasn't really intentional. It wasn't something like a bad tackle or anything. It's something that is like a clash of their legs or whatever it is, and he fell. So I don't think it's like a negative on his performance necessarily, but yeah, if it was given, and if that was a goal, then everybody would concentrate on it. But because people didn't like, because Aguero didn't score, we we kind of forgot about it. But
Yeah, like
let's talk about that penalty. Let's talk about that penalty.
oh man, there's only one person who can Panenka in a Chelsea City game, and it's Eden Hazard. So
You
yeah,
can
that was
see
pretty.
what he was going for, and if he, I don't know what was wrong with him, but you can see Mendy initially dived the wrong way, but the fact he didn't fully commit to that corner, he was able to get back up and then save the penalty.
Yeah, yeah. And Mendy isn't really particularly good at penalties, and I don't think he has saved a penalty since he came to Chelsea. And I think he used to save a couple of them in Ren, but there was something that beats him. I think this is the easiest penalty he has saved, to be honest, because I don't you see the thing was this kind of Panenka penalties depends on the goalkeeper committing fully to his direction. Like the goalkeeper has to commit fully either to the right or fully to the left. But if the goalkeeper decides to commit partly like how Mendy did, because Mendy wasn't fully committed to going dive into the left. He was standing there with the expectation that he might hit it straight through the middle. So he was still like kind of like in between that point. So with this kind of penalty and the little pace that was behind it, the little power behind it, it was an easy catch, a very, very easy catch. He caught it like a basketball and just bounced the thing.
Yeah, it was a pretty simple catch. I was real honestly, I was really was not expecting many to well for us to go into the end of first half with a 1-0 score. Mainly because I mean, after they got the penalty, it was like, oh no, Mendy's record at penalties isn't good. This is gonna be 2-0. And then to see Aguero almost sabotage his team pretty much in favor of Chelsea's top four hopes was particularly satisfying, I must say. And
I think he was auditioning to come to Chelsea and his audition failed.
yeah, yeah. Even after that, I don't want him anywhere near Chelsea. To be honest, he can go to Barcelona and let him go there. I mean, I'm not saying that just because of the penalty, but it's like at the end of the day, I mean, we we have Werner, we have Havertz who can also play there. Unless you can find, I mean, I just don't see anyone who's going to come in and be a 20 goal a season hyper clinical striker whose name isn't Erling Haaland, Lukaku, or Harry Kane. And I don't personally think any of them are coming to Chelsea this summer. So it's like, why just keep? I mean, what we have works. Yes, it's not very clinical, but it's just a shame that we'll probably have to get someone in at least to replace Tammy Abraham and Giroud if or when they both leave this summer.
Yeah.
So
Do you guys think Tammy will leave if we win the Champions League?
I think Tammy will leave no matter what. You can tell not just his age, but he just wants to play games, and under Thomas Tuchel, he's not going to get that game time. So whether we could use him to get either a swap deal with West Ham for Declan Rice or just get some money off him, but you can tell he just wants to leave Chelsea, unfortunately.
I would really wish he stays, because the thing is, the reason why I think Tuchel isn't playing him is that Tuchel wants like quick results now, because he has been given a deadline. He's been given 18 months, and he has been given like a task to turn this ship around, and he has done that successfully. So he just wants like the people he knows can guarantee him results. And I think that's the reason why he doesn't want to take chances on Tammy. He doesn't, because he has used him and he has seen how he is. Even though I think Tammy deserves to be playing, but he has used him. I think he has seen how he is. And same with Gilmore. See, he used Gilmore, and Gilmore impressed against West Ham, so he's using him again today. And I think that's the thing. He has a little bit of pressure on him. I think right now the pressure is relieved a bit because he has gotten to an FA Cup final, has gotten to um Champions League final. So I think that contract will definitely be extended. So if Tammy
Yeah.
can wait, I think probably next season he might definitely get a chance. If we don't get a new striker, that's the thing. If we do get a new striker, I don't think he will get the chance.
You see, like, I just think at the end of the day that this is Chelsea, and no matter if Tuchel stays 2 years or stays 20 years, the pressure to win will still be there under with the people we have in the board and as Roman Abramovich as a manager. So I just don't see, say we win the Champions League and the FA Cup this year, and then we go into next season really wanting to go for the title. You're saying that the pressure for results will be less when we'll be actually going for even more success. So it's like I don't see why the pressure, or perhaps I don't see why the pressure will go. I don't see why Tammy would get more minutes next season. I don't know why Thomas Tuchel would just there's no switch in his head that will think, I don't need to try now. I'll play someone who I don't really trust. I just don't see it happening. So that's my. Yeah. What do you say?
You see, I think you see that the reason I'm saying that he has pressure on him is that this formation, the 3-back formation, is not something that he prefers. It's not something that he used a lot when he was playing with PSG. Usually he went with 4 at the back. So I see him going back to that 4 at the back after this season. I see him going back, see him experimenting with that 4 at the back after this season. And when he goes back to that, then I think he can use other players with that system. Because if he goes 4 at the back, he might go 2 in front. Or when he goes to 2 in front, he might use Tammy and Werner. That's what that's the top. That's what I'm thinking about. Because if he wants to continue with this 3, then I think it's done for Tammy. But I don't see him continuing with this 3, even though this 3 has brought us great success. But the thing with the 3 is that even today I was a bit worried when City mirrored our formation. I was a bit worried because they were getting the better of us in the first half. They really were. But in the second half, we somehow managed to turn it around, and that's one reason why Tuchel is a good manager. He's able to turn things around. He's able to see the errors in his tactics, or see the errors in the opponent's tactics, and used it against them. So yeah, I don't know. Like it's good. It's good that we won.
Yeah. I would say that we have used 2 striker systems a couple of times in recent games, though. We've played Havertz and Werner up top sometimes. Yeah. So if Tammy, the only way I see Tammy coming out of this playing for Chelsea more is if he improves. He just has to. Like I don't see Tuchel thinking, I feel a bit sorry for him next season. I'm going to start giving you games. I just don't see it. So
no, but I mean he will be.
And even with a formation change.
Sorry, but I mean he will be given a chance, definitely. Like how Gilmore has been given a chance and he has proved himself.
Yeah.
The same way Alonso gets the chance and he proves himself. He will definitely get a chance, and that's when he will prove himself he will prove himself or not. And that's when we'll know whether he's a starter or he'll go back to the bench. That's the thing. But I don't think he has been given the chance. He has been given the fair chance to prove himself since Tuchel came. I'm not really complaining about that because you're still getting results, but I'm talking, and on the part of Tammy, it might not be good for him and he might want to leave.
Yeah. like if he wants to leave, I totally understand it. Like if someone comes in with good money, and I mean, we're not going to say, oh, let's get shot of. I don't think any Chelsea fan that says let's get shot of Tammy is just, needs to respect what Tammy did for Chelsea last year. And at the same time, with that respect, you need to just, like, if he wants to leave, which is understandably so, because I just don't see him getting into the team permanently for a man of his age. He can't be playing as a bit part role. So there's only one solution for me, and it's for him to leave with a heavy heart, with a lot of respect for what he's done for Chelsea over the past 2 years. But it's just necessary at the end of the day, I think. But we'll see. You never know. He turns, like, football's unpredictable, and you never know what can happen if someone if say Kai Havertz gets a long-term injury, or both Timo and Kai Havertz get a long-term injury, then Abraham will be back in there straight away. So it's like, never really know. But like I think Nathan, you said, if like, I don't think West Ham, I think there have been some quotes from Moyes saying that they wouldn't be able to afford 40 million for Tammy Abraham. So paying, say, like 30 or 40 million plus Tammy Abraham for Declan Rice is something that I could get on board with. But at the same time, I find it really hard to say, oh, we need more midfielders when Gilmour, Kante and Jorginho are all particularly Kante. I mean, to be fair, it's more just Gilmour. We haven't seen much Gilmour, but with Jorginho and Kante playing fantastically right now, it's like, it's really hard to justify putting or sacrificing Tammy and putting extra 40 million, shelling extra 40 million out for someone where it's just hard to decide like what we actually need to improve in this team. I think, I don't know about you guys, but I think the main thing is yes, clinicality, but there's perhaps a little bit of creativity as well. But that's what I can think of.
I think with Mason Mount in our team, we look better just going forward. But then, also, as pointed out a lot recently on social media, Timo Werner misses a lot of chances, which is where I think Tuchel is looking to improve on, whether that's just training Timo to finish those chances or whether it's bringing in a new striker. And I think Tuchel has this idea of the perfect striker in his head, because we keep getting linked to the players like Lukaku, Harry Kane, and recently I saw we linked to Lewandowski. So he wants those clinical finishers.
Yeah. It makes sense. I mean, I think there was something about Dan. I don't know if you guys follow Dan McCarthy on Twitter. He's someone quite closely linked with Chelsea, and he's got a few contacts around and about, and he kind of shut down the Lewandowski things. I think it's mainly because the price, because he's he's 30. I can't remember his age now. He's 32, I think, or is he 30?
He's like early 30s.
Yeah, early 30s, but Bayern Munich want to like have an asking price of 60 million or something, which I think it's worth it for sure. He is worth it. Like, he's a fantastic striker, but it's like, considering what Chelsea are about in terms of investing in players that are going to improve in value over time, it just, I'd be really surprised if Lewandowski happens.
And I think if we're going to go for a new striker, I think we'll go for somebody younger too. I don't think we'll go for somebody, Yeah,
because literally, I think the only weakness of this team right now is clinicality. Like, yes, maybe we don't create the. I mean, even still, it's really hard to say that we don't create, because you can't. I mean, if we're going to play Mason Mount and Kai Havertz in the kind of attacking midfield roles, or unless Havertz is up top, I just don't get how you can. I mean, how you can force even more creativity into that team. Yes, perhaps Declan Rice is maybe that, but you wouldn't say that Declan Rice is this kind of Cesc Fabregas, the heir to Cesc Fabregas's throne, would you? He's more. He's a good long. He's got a good long pass on him, but he's also fantastic. His main strength is that he's fantastic defensively. So, like, if Cesc Fabregas from 10 years ago was available, I think we'd all be hot on that train. But I think that is perhaps something that we need a little more of, and it's we've gone about solving that internally. But I mean, we've seen a lot more creativity from Jorginho, particularly under Tuchel, he's been playing way more risky overall, I think. And but same time, someone like that.
I mean, also we've seen quite recently as well Mason Mount playing in that centre mid role. So again, some creativity from a little bit deeper. So whether Tuchel wants to carry on bringing Mason Mount a little bit deeper, so he brings up the counter attack a little bit faster, and then playing Timo Werner deeper or whatever. But it'll be interesting to see what Tuchel does for this Chelsea team. Now he can make more signings.
Yeah, exactly. And I think with regard to Alex's point, I don't think our issue is creativity at all. I think it's with the fact that we are not too clinical up top, and I think that has been a problem since Lampard was also around. But I think with Lampard, we're very, very offensive. We're creating a lot of chances, but we're not finishing them at all. And even I think with Lampard, his problem was that even if we do finish those chances, the defense was just horrible. Like we couldn't even defend them, and we would go down and still lose games. So even if we can't score, we'll still concede, and even if we score, we'll still concede. But I think with Tuchel, he has just shut down that defense. He has shut down the midfield, and the players are all fit now, and he's working with everybody. And now the only issue we have is the finishing, because I think especially when you go back to the Real Madrid game, we could have beat them by 5 or 6 goals in that match, but we missed so many chances that could have been finished easily by any other striker. I think that's the reason why everybody's calling out for a finisher, like a good striker, somebody who can finish those chances. And I don't know who will be available now, or whether our players will eventually get good. But yeah, I think that's where the issue is.
Sorry, I just wasn't get good.
Get good. I mean, get good at finishing. Get good at finishing, because all of them, Havertz. Havertz is one of our better finishers, but even him against Real Madrid, he was missing chances. And Mount is also one of our better ones. He also occasionally misses chances. Werner, we know he misses chances. Ziyech, like all these players, you give them 5 chances and they might score 2. We want somebody who would score 4 or score all the 5. That's the point I'm driving at. I think that's the reason why everybody's focused on the attacking prospects instead of any other place.
Breaking news: Chelsea linked to robots from the Samsung advert, or no, from the 2010 animated film. Now I know what you mean.
Yeah,
like we just need someone, basically Erling Haaland, or someone. Sorry, never mind. Go on.
No, I'm just saying we've had players like that before. We've had Diego Costa, we've had Drogba, like people that when they get chances, you're very, very confident that they are going to finish it. It's like we right now, most of the times when we get chances, we are like, what if a chance goes in, we are all surprised and we are happy about it. But yeah, that's the thing. We want somebody who we can be very confident in that he will score goals. That's what I'm saying, that I hope these players are the ones that do that, because imagine all these new players, all these 5 players, Ziyech, Havertz, Werner, Mount, Pulisic, gets very, very good at finishing, and they finish most of the chances that they get. We don't have any problem anymore.
Yeah. I mean,
agreed.
We play Arsenal on, I'm not sure when, but we play Arsenal next. And it'll be interesting to see who he plays up front, whether it's Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Giroud, or Tammy Abraham. It'll be interesting to see who he picks for that game.
Yeah, I mean, considering Havertz got completely rested today, same with Mount, I'd be pretty sure that Havertz will get the nod at striker. I mean, the cup final is next weekend, so maybe give Timo some rest, give Van some rest for the Arsenal game, and then play him against Leicester. But Arsenal is still a huge game in the league. Like, I think we did beat them last year in the league. I think it was the one where Tammy got the late goal, but it's. We've lost to them too many times. I mean, earlier. Sorry, Amart.
No, I was just saying the last year it was a win and a draw. It was a win. It was a win and a 2-2 win for them.
Yes.
At Stamford Bridge.
What am I thinking of? Oh, I'm thinking of this season then, I think, where we lost 3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Over the years, I have just too many memories of them getting wins where they shouldn't have. Or maybe I'm confusing with the draw, maybe with the iconic Martinelli equalizer that keeps getting talked about.
It was a win. It was a win for them. It wasn't a draw. It was a 2-2 win.
No.
They acted like they won. They acted like they won.
Yeah, a 2-2 win. Yes, definitely. And I think also with the cup games as well, especially the FA Cup final last year, where we kind of got screwed over by the referee, and then But never mind about referees. But yes, I think we need to kind of start beating them more consistently, and it is another big game in terms of the top 4 race too. Sorry, I heard a.
No. When you said beating them consistently, I was like, everybody's beating them, so why can't we beat them?
I mean, Leicester on a horrific, I may add, run of form in the minute, losing to Newcastle or other teams. So we have to keep that in our mind that they are on a bad run of form. We have to keep going at them, because recently we've waited way too late to get a goal. Like tonight we scored on 92nd minute. Real Madrid, we waited till the 80th minute. We need to score goals earlier on to put the game to bed without any chance of comebacks.
Yeah.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, it was nice to go ahead of Leicester today by a point, but especially with Leicester have a similar run to us, and probably harder than us, to be fair. They play Man United, Liverpool, and then Tottenham, I think.
No, they play Man United, then us, and then us
in the
FA Cup, and then they play Spurs in the final day of the season.
Yeah. So it's a huge hard run for them, and it's going to be important for us to beat that Leicester team when the time comes around to kind of secure third. But also, I mean, guys, I know it's weird to think, but if Man United have a bad share of luck, we could be in the fight for second, which is really weird to think. But because United, yes, I think they have easier fixtures than us, but they're playing away to Villa tomorrow, and then they've got Leicester, and then they have Liverpool. So you never know. I mean, yes, we've also got to start with Arsenal, of course, but if we do get the win against Arsenal, then we really can get in the hunt for second, which I know is hyping up the team and all, and it's a bit premature to think about, but everyone's got tricky games at the end of the season, and we've literally just come out of arguably our most difficult, the most difficult game that we never win at the Etihad, Dominic. Yes, I think our last win was under Conte in the title winning season.
Yeah, and Hazard cost us good.
Yeah. So to come out of that with a win, I think we just have a lot of belief right now that we can get the win anywhere, and
100%.
Great start would be a great continuation of that would be at Arsenal, to capitalise on other teams around us playing difficult games as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, we just need to beat them badly. Also, I think there was a tweet today from the FA Cup Twitter account saying, who's the greater FA Cup legend? And it was Lampard was there with 4, and Ozil was there with 4 as well. And Ozil won it. Ozil won the poll. He was at 50%. I was like,
what?
Yeah. And so there's lots of Chelsea fans on that saying, Chelsea fans, come here, vote for him.
I saw that. I mean, I think the Arsenal fans just thought it was a trophy win or something, so they were all voting in numbers. They are not getting Europa this season. They are not getting Champions League this season. They are not getting anything this season. So I think that is the win that they all want. They want something to be joyous about, so they all voted in their numbers. But how can Ozil be in that list? That's just crazy. It's as if the FA Cup started when 5 years ago or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. What else are we going to talk about on this wonderful podcast of ours after a buzzing win? I know it's it's a fantastic result against the City, but I'm really regretting not watching this. And maybe I should watch less of Chelsea, and we'll keep winning. I don't know. It's not worked. It hasn't worked before, but we've always been watching before. But is there anything else that we can think of for this one, or we'll cut it short as an early one tonight?
Going back to your point about the Man United thing, I think some weeks ago, I think they were 9 points or so ahead of us, and I was thinking the best that we can do this season is third. But now it looks like we'll be able to get second. And imagine this, that we get second, and then we win the Champions League, and then we win the FA Cup. That would be a fantastic season for Tuchel and for Chelsea in general. So we're hoping that happens. I'm hoping we finish ahead of Man United. I hate finishing below Man United. I don't know why. Last season we finished below them by just goal difference, and I really didn't like that. And then this season too, they're above us with quite some number of points. So hoping they drop some points tomorrow, and then we can capitalize on our next game and then climb up to just get closer to them and eventually climb up to second.
Yeah, it would be great for that. It's quite frustrating that Man United have also been very consistent recently as well. They've been winning a lot of games. It's why they've kind of been able to stay up there. Like the fact that the title race is still not quite over yet, is still alive technically, is just a testament to how solid Man United have been over the past months or so, or month or two of so. So yeah. But they also have extremely difficult games coming up, and also in quick succession. With Liverpool game getting cancelled and then postponed, they have. I think it's been quite a topic that I think they have They play a lot of games in the space of 8 days. I think. Yeah, they play. Yeah, it's wow. Okay, yes, it is crazy. Have you seen Man United's fixture list?
I know they've got to play eight games in a month or something stupid like that.
Yeah, yes. It's ridiculous. So on this Sunday, they play Villa away.
Okay.
Then on Tuesday, they play Leicester at home. And then on Thursday, they play Liverpool at home.
What?
It's ridiculous.
How can they... Wait, how can they play 3 games in the space of 4 days?
I don't get it. I don't understand. They play all 5 days, pretty much. They have a gap in between. They have a 1 day gap in between. That's ridiculous.
That's not even like their bottom half teams either. It's like the likes of Liverpool, Leicester.
Yeah. That's the thing. Top second place is there. Second place is there for the taking. If they can just, we're only 3 points behind them, and they're gonna play by the next time. They'll have played twice by the time we play Arsenal. So, yeah, we'll know whether we can perhaps go level with them by the time that we get around to Arsenal, which will be pretty nice.
Realistically, talking about Man United, the amount of points they can get the rest, so they play. Have a look at it.
Actually, I realise now I was a bit wrong. We'll know if we can get level with them if by the time we play Arsenal, because they'll have played their basically their games in hand on us.
If they beat Villa away... Oh, God.
Sorry, I was about to ask whether they had some games in hand, because this fixture is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. So they're on 33 games played and 67 points, and we're on 35 games played, 64 points. So we're 3 points behind, and they have 2 games in hand. But their next 3 games are rather difficult. So there's every chance that they could lose the next 2 or 3.
Away to Villa Park is extremely difficult, as Liverpool taught us at the start of the season. And Leicester is obviously a very difficult game. Liverpool's obviously one of the best teams. Well, last year they were one of the best teams in the world. So whether they can get maybe 2 or 3 points and we beat Arsenal, we could be above them this time next week, but who knows?
Yeah. It is quite convenient that they're playing the teams around us as well. So it's kind of a win-win, really. Either we don't get second, but the gap below us starts to increase, or they lose and that we start to get close to second. Because finishing second in this season would be pretty huge. Already I'd be happy with finishing third, to be honest. A steady improvement on last year, despite all the chaoticness of this season and getting to the final of the FA Cup and Champions League. At least a 1 place improvement in the league would be all right to stomach, but to get second would be that's something to say that next year we're definitely coming for City. I mean, and we showed it today. Yes, it was definitely a weakened City team. I think there's about 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 or 9 players even in that City team that may not even start in the Champions League final. The only ones that I can think of that are dead starts, certain starts, are Diaz and Ederson. And the rest are all, it all depends on form.
I mean, Sterling will probably start that Champions League final.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know.
There was so much talk as well when the lineups were introduced that both Mount and KDB got dropped completely from both starting 11s, whether it's a bit tactical or just saving them. Because if you're playing a team you know are going to be in the Champions League final, you're obviously just going to try keep bashing at their best players. So whether they've rested them just for sake of keeping them out of the way or whether it's tactical, who knows?
Indeed. Well, that's going to be important for us, at least for this, or player management is going to be important with the FA Cup final next weekend, sorry. And but also crucial league games at every turn, pretty much, until the end of this month. We have now 5 games left to play, pretty much one every 3 to 5 days, and every single one is huge. 3 of those, sorry, have I messed it up? No, it is. It is 5 games in this week. 2 are literal finals, and the other 3 are finals in their own right. That we should. Yeah, they are crucial to getting top 4. I believe
it's Arsenal, then Leicester again.
Yeah.
Then Villa, then Man City. If I'm not wrong. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the stats from today's game, and Man City had 1.87 expected goals, and we had 0.6. So it shows that we took our chances, and Man City didn't.
Yeah. Mendy looked pretty as a sort of note, but I don't remember them too much. I mean, I think they had a couple of shots on target, I think, but I don't really remember much, any huge other than their goal where they hugely threatened. I mean, maybe that's just me.
I think Mendy did quite well today, because I think there were a couple of times in the second half where they got in behind our defenders, and Mendy came out very, very quickly to clear those chances. Without that, probably we might have been in trouble, because Sterling was behind our defenders. Most of the times, the passes that, I don't know who was making the passes, but most of the time the passes that got to him somehow went past our defenders and got to him. And most of the times Mendy or either Zuma was there to take it away from them. So I think he had a quiet game because they didn't have enough shots on target, but I think he did well.
Yeah. During the last few games, he's been. During the last few games, Mendy's been absolutely excellent against Real Madrid, and he's just been on top form.
Yeah, he has. He really, really has. A lot of people were doubting him, especially when I think we were losing games. I think getting the latter part of Lampard's time at Chelsea. A lot of people were saying that is he actually a fraud and stuff like that. From Chelsea fans, I was very, very shocked. I was seeing those things. We're calling him a fraud and things, and the same fans are also calling Kante to be sold and stuff like that. Now look at all of them. They've come back into their own. This is exactly the reason why I like having patience for certain players, especially when they are new players. I like having patience for them to really get into the team and then start performing, because they have to settle first, and when they settle, then they can now start carving out their name. But I think they're all coming into their own now, especially Mendy. The defenders that we have, the new ones, have all been really, really solid. Chilwell, Thiago Silva, Mendy, those in defense, they've done really, really well. So
and long may it continue. I mean, I think it's, since both teams scored today, it means that Chelsea and City are still joint first in all competitions this season for clean sheets. So it's going to go right down to the wire. And how cool would it be if we go to the Champions League final to decide who finishes with the most clean sheets? And of course, as the best team, as the Champions League winner. That would be pretty huge. But
Yeah.
before we get to that, though, there's a lot of games to go, isn't there? Or a few at least. But starting with Arsenal, and be nice to put them to the sword. I think yes, we've had some draws and some wins against them, but I think still need to beat them a couple more times to make it feel like it's the norm, because they've robbed us. I have to say they've robbed us a couple of times now. Where not robbed, maybe not robbed, but it's just like we should be beating these guys. They're now a mid-table team. So yeah. Anything else that we want to add to this one before we?
Don't think there is much. We covered pretty much everything.
Yeah, I think we have the Chelsea women didn't really play any. I think they're supposed to play tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think they're supposed to play.
The Champions League final is. Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to play Reading or something tomorrow, so they haven't played yet. When is their final? Is it?
I think it's the 15th, so I think it's on the same day that we play the FA Cup final.
Yeah. Also, one more thing. I've seen a lot of talk recently as well of moving the Champions League final to the UK. Because obviously Turkey has been placed on some red list, so the players can't travel. So wherever it is in the UK and fans are allowed, there'll be just an insane atmosphere seeing the fans back at the stadium to hopefully win the Champions League.
Yeah, it hasn't been decided yet, but it will be, because Turkey's COVID-19 cases rate is going up, and right now the Britain or England, like they've red listed them. So I think what UEFA is doing right now, UEFA is looking to see whether things will calm down or things will change at Turkey before. But I don't know. I think if both teams are from England, why risk it? Just play to England, or probably they're still angry with the Super League thing.
Yeah, I mean, I personally hope it goes to Villa Park, simply because I live quite close to Birmingham. So I'm very much praying that it's that instead. But then again, I think there's also other stadiums like the Tottenham Stadium and Wembley also being talked up for it. So either of those two will do fine. But to me, I hope it's Villa Park.
I mean, if it is at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and we do win the Champions League, we would have won a trophy at Tottenham Stadium before they'd have.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. I didn't even think of that. I had like they were part of the team, the stadiums that, but I didn't really think of that. They've never won a trophy there. We will be the first. I think they win the Audi Cup trophy there. I think they won.
I was out in Japan.
Yeah. That's true. So no trophy there at all. Wow, crazy.
Exactly.
All right, guys. I think we're going to end it there for this one. It's been a fun one for sure. I do apologise for not watching the game, for not watching half of the game, and I'll make sure to rectify my mistakes for next time. But it's still been a pretty enjoyable one, I think, and we're a pleasure to have you on, Nathan, as well, and definitely more than welcome back whenever we. I mean, to be fair, normally we find that 3 works best, as with 4 it's hard to give everyone a good amount of time for an hour's long pod, but whenever we have space, you're more than welcome to come on again. It's been great having you on. And thank you as well, Amart, Mr. Internet Issues, who didn't have any issues this time. You've been pretty solid for this one, so thank you very much as well for coming on. Love you as always. So yes, thank you very much. And to you, the listener, thank you very much for getting this far. If you did get this far, then please don't forget to, if you did like this episode, to give us a like or maybe even a subscribe if you want to hear more of Amart and his beautiful voice, and hopefully and Mohammed's beautiful voice, and Nathan as well whenever he's back on the pod as a guest. But yes, that's all from me tonight. I'd like to thank you for getting to the end, and we'll see you in the next episode covering our Arsenal game. Until then, have a good one. See you in the next one. Bye.